Hey everyone, and welcome right into today's Explainer. We've got something really special lined up. We are unpacking the actual profound mindset shifts from professionals who just wrapped up a leadership workshop called Creating Future-Ready Organizations, or CFRO for short. We actually got our hands on their unfiltered post-workshop feedback, and let me tell you, the transformations they're talking about, they go way, way beyond your typical boring corporate training. We're talking about massive shifts in how they see reality, how they lead, and even how they connect with their families.
So let's jump right in with a pretty tough question, honestly. Do you truly listen to the people around you, or are you kind of just waiting for your turn to speak? It hits hard, right? But this was the exact revelation that struck dozens of CFRO participants. One of the biggest insights in their feedback was this hard truth. Human beings just aren't naturally designed to listen. Nope, we're designed to formulate opinions and make assumptions. Recognizing that flaw, that's the very first step to actually fixing it.
What's super fascinating here is the sheer volume of raw, authentic data we're talking about today. This isn't polished marketing copy, you know? These are real, written reflections from participants right after the workshop ended. They were asked what they learned and how it would impact their lives. And the depth of these answers, it proves this wasn't just some class they sat through. It was a literal psychological awakening. So let's explore exactly what they woke up to. Section 1. The Illusion of Reality. Unlearning what we think we know. So the first massive paradigm shift for these folks was confronting the stark contrast between perception and reality. I mean, we all walk around assuming we operate in absolute objective reality, right? But the participants realize they actually live in a world of pure perceptions. When you think you're reacting to hard facts, you're usually just reacting to your own assumptions. Acknowledging that your reality is just a perception, wow, it's basically a superpower. It instantly makes you less judgmental and way more curious about how others view the world.
Listen to this brilliant quote straight from one of the participants. Everyone is watching a movie and a different one, and it's called reality. Just let that sink in for a second. Your spouse, your boss, your clients, they are all sitting in their own private theater watching a completely different movie than you are. Once you really accept this, you stop arguing over whose movie is right, and you start genuinely trying to understand the plot of theirs.
Section 2. The Power of Deep Listening. From Downloading to Open-Hearted Connection. Okay, so once you realize everyone's watching a different movie, the big question is, how do we handle information that doesn't fit our plot line? Participants learn to actively hunt for something called contradictory data. Usually, when someone says something that goes against our beliefs, we get super defensive. Classic confirmation bias. But the CFRO workshop taught them to actually seek out contradictory data, because that is exactly what fuels growth. It shatters those fixed opinions and throws the door wide open to genuine understanding. To actually gather that contradictory data, they learned a really specific three-step process. Step 1. Consciously suspend your opinions and judgments. Just put them right in a mental parking lot. Step 2, listen with an open, factual mind. And finally, Step 3, listen with an open heart. They practice this through real exercises, stuff like empathy walks and many stakeholder interviews. It's way more than just hearing words, it's genuinely trying to experience the other person's reality.
Section 3. Systems thinking and root causes. Treating the disease, not just the symptom.
This newfound ability to truly listen naturally spills over into solving complex organizational problems. A bunch of participants noted this fascinating analogy. They realized they'd been acting like chemists when they really needed to be doctors, meaning they were constantly mixing up these quick fixes to treat recurring symptoms in their businesses instead of doing the deep diagnostic work to understand the underlying structures that were causing the pain in the first place. And this leads perfectly into the systems thinking framework they walked away with. First, spot the recurring symptoms. You know, the daily fires that keep popping up. Second, dig deeper to uncover the structural causes, like broken processes or mismatched incentives. And finally, get to the absolute root. Identify the driving mental models, like what flawed beliefs are forcing this bad structure to exist. Fix the mental model, and guess what? The symptom disappears forever.
Section 4. Redefining professional success. From resource to source.
Armed with these new tools, participants completely revolutionized how they viewed their careers. One concept that absolutely lit up the feedback sheets was smart selfishness. Kind of sounds like an oxymoron, doesn't it? But it's this incredibly powerful shift from egocentric thinking to ecocentric thinking. It's realizing that, hey, you cannot succeed in a vacuum.
Your personal success is entirely dependent on your company's success, which relies totally on your customer's success. By being smartly selfish, you dedicate yourself completely to the success of others because you know it's the only real path to your own.
And this realization sparked some intense personal accountability. Just listen to this breakthrough. I'll stop playing a victim to become a leader. Man, that's powerful. Many participants talked about transforming from being just a passive resource that a company uses into becoming a source of value, clarity, and transformation themselves. It's literally a complete reclamation of professional power.
Section 5. Transforming Personal Relationships, Bringing the Learnings Home.
But what makes this workshop so uniquely special is that the impact didn't just stop at the office door. One participant shared this funny but deeply profound truth about our personal lives. The common topic between you and the other person is the other person. We really just have to accept that people are fundamentally interested in their own dreams and ambitions, not yours. When you take that open-hearted listening and apply it to your family, and you become genuinely invested in their movie, the whole dynamic completely shifts. The professional breakthroughs were amazing, for sure, but this next quote really captures the true soul of the CFRO workshop. By listening with empathy, understanding their dreams and aspirations, and building heart-to-heart connections, I can become a better father, husband, and family member. Tools that were meant for the boardroom were literally healing divides at the dining room table. That right there is the mark of true, holistic transformation.
Section 6. Your invitation to grow, stepping into the future.
So where does all this leave us? We've looked at the raw data and these incredible mindset shifts. And it's clear, the CFRO workshop isn't just about making better managers, it's aiming at something much, much bigger. Participants frequently mention this overarching goal of bridging the three divides: the ecological divide between self and nature, the social divide between self and others, and the spiritual divide between self and self. It totally elevates the experience from a standard corporate class into a profound life movement aimed at healing our fundamental disconnects. I want to share what might be the ultimate piece of social proof from the feedback documents. One participant literally wrote, "This was like a blue pill for me of Matrix, with Morpheus giving it to me a new way of living and managing life." I mean, come on! When a leadership workshop is being compared to waking up from the Matrix, you know for a fact something extraordinarily special is happening there. We've explored the illusion of reality, the absolute power of deep listening, and the journey from being a resource to becoming a source. This community of future-ready leaders is growing fast, and they are experiencing a completely new way of living and leading. So, the question is, are you ready to step out of your perception and become the source of your own transformation? The choice is entirely yours. Thank you so much for joining this explainer, and we really hope to see you step into the future.